Okay,
Thank you.
we're recording. Perfect. So are you more in your business mindset? Again, we're defining it for you. Are you more in a familiar, following the routine, following the status quo, doing what I'm supposed to do, thinking inside of the box? Or do I like to think outside of the box? Do I like to take risks? Do I like to take challenges? So that's what I mean by defining where you are predominantly. Now, we might flow back and forth depending on certain issues or things that come up, but I'm talking about what is your state of being? What is your mindset predominantly? Then once you know that and you have that awareness, then that provides information. Once you have that information, then you can take it and use it, because awareness is very important to making change. And one of the things that we had put on here, Charlie, was on a scale of 1 to 10. 1, I'm not accomplishing anything I want to do in my business, or 10, I'm accomplishing everything I want to do in my business. We asked, where are you on that scale from 1 to 10? And if you're on here, if you're listening, I'm assuming that there's something still in your business that you want to accomplish, but maybe you just don't know how. One of the things I learned is when I was working as an active financial advisor and trying to do everything that everybody was telling me to do, scheduling, phone calls, all the policies, all the procedures, everything I was supposed to be doing, there was something that I knew, and I knew that I needed to get out of my own way. And you hear people talking about that all the time. Oh, I just need to get it out of my own way. But I didn't know how to do it. Like, I knew it. I knew that I was blocking myself, but at the time I had no idea what to do. So if that resonates with you, you can put something in the chat, because I would like to know how you're feeling right now. Now, all of this talk, Charlie, whether we're talking mindset, whether it's fear or faith, but mindset, and we're talking about alignment, and we're talking about success, all of these words are things that we cannot see. They are the unseen. And in business, what happens is we're focused on numbers, we're focused on data, we're focused on number of clients, we're focused on money, we're focused on people, we're focused on employees, we're focused on things that we can see, hear, feel, and touch, right?
Right.
That's what we focus on. But is that getting us the results that we want?
I think we all want to do better, no matter where we're at in our journey.
Yes, we want more. So why not tap in? So the 3 things that we're going to cover today are how to align to your why, how to align to your ideal client, and then how to align yourself to prosperity. And so all of these things, we're talking about energetic alignment. Again, we're talking about things that are unseen. So I would challenge you, if you tend to be in that fear-based mindset of more playing it safe, only dealing with what's inside the box, open yourself up for the next few minutes that we have together and allow yourself to have an open mind. Allow yourself to have an open mind to the unseen. Because maybe the seen is doing it for you and you're getting all the results that you want. But I would challenge you to listen and see what resonates with you. Maybe not all of it will, maybe some of it will, maybe all of it will. But let's see, pay attention to how you're feeling and what's resonating with you. Now, also in the program, we put a quote from Albert Einstein. And it said, and I know you had a couple of comments on one of your posts I saw with that quote. Some people really liked it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And that quote says, everything is energy. And energy is unseen, right? So think about radio waves. We can't see them. They come right through the walls. They're here. It's what is allowing us all to meet together through energy. So Einstein said everything is energy. All energy has, everything is energy. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. It is not philosophy. It is physics. So that's the quote by Albert Einstein. And it's one of my favorite quotes. I absolutely love it because it reminds me all the time that I need to check my frequency. I need to check my frequency. And what frequency am I emitting into the universe? Because there's this little thing called the law of attraction that manages all of this energy. And the law of attraction is simply going to give you more of what you think about. So it all comes back to the mindset component, right? Because if the law of attraction is giving us what we think about, the law of attraction does not care about what that thing is. So if you're in that fear-based mindset of worry and doubt, and you don't know if you can make payroll, or you don't know if that employee is going to show up, or if you don't know if that new client is going to walk in the door, and you're concerned about that, the law of attraction is going to give you more fear, worry, and doubt and uncertainty. So that's why we need to check in. What's my vibration? What am I emitting into the universe? On the other hand, if I'm in a place of faith and I know that I am a vibrational match, like Einstein said, to my ideal client, then I don't need to worry about that client. I will attract them. So that's where the mindset piece comes together, along with this thought of energy and everything being unseen, because all energy has a vibration and emits a frequency. I'm sure you've walked into a room and there's been like a certain vibe in the room, like everybody's really excited about something. You know, somebody got engaged or somebody's having a baby. You can feel it. No one has to say a word. Like, we understand it, but we don't pay attention to it. And it was interesting yesterday because I don't know if you all were watching the procession and the funeral of Queen Elizabeth, but I watched part of it, and it was interesting to me because everyone was so focused on the Queen and this casket, and she had millions of people come out and just flock the streets and watch as her casket in this hearse was driving down the road. And I just watched and I watched, and what it reminded me of is that we pay so much attention to the scene because her body is gone. But what about her soul? Her soul, her spirit is infinite. But yet we as a society put so much focus and attention on what is gone. And to me, it was just interesting. It was just another aha. I'm open all the time to wonder and ask questions. And as I was watching that, I just asked, why do we put so much attention on the scene? All right, let's start with our first activity, unless someone has a question or there's a comment that you want to share.
Well, there's been some great comments that came up. Deborah talks about, are you aware of, I don't know this one, Masaru Emoto's water experiment, where words are powerful based on fact? I'm not sure what Deborah, and unfortunately,
yeah, it almost sounds like quantum physics, right? Our mind affects matter.
Yeah. Yeah. And listen, Beth, I knew this was coming up. So I listened to The Secret. I've been listening to podcasts about quantum physics and the wave properties of things. Anyway, so in preparation for us being here today.
Yeah.
So Deborah says he tested water crystals and words changed water crystals.
Oh,
dang,
so
Deborah, that is powerful. I love that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yes. And we get glimpses of that. We see a study. We know when someone is pregnant and we know we're supposed to sing happy songs and put on this great music, we understand that there's a vibration to music and to our feelings, but I feel like we don't pay enough attention to it. Why not? So the first activity is alignment with your why. And this is something else that seems, ever since Simon Sinek's book, Know Your Why, I feel like it's been a little bit overused, kind of like the word mindset, but it is very important, because when you are a vibrational match to your why, nothing else matters. The universe will bring it to you. So let's do this little exercise. It's actually a very powerful exercise, and I won't ask you to complete it, but we will start it. So I asked you at the beginning to have some paper to write on. So you list down 1 through 10. And then for line number 1, it's what's your why? Why do you do what you do? And then you can write it down or you can put it in the chat. And it's the first thing that comes to your mind. It might be your mission statement. For me, my mission is to inspire you to live a life you love. So it might be that simple. And then on line 2, you answer this question. Why is what you wrote on line 1, why is that important? So for me, it would be, why is my mission statement important? Why is it important for me to inspire people to live a life they love? And then you write that down. And then number 3, and it just goes down. Number 3 is, why is that thing that you wrote in number 2? Why is that important? And then you got it. You keep going, right? So number 4 is, why is that thing that you wrote in number 3? Why is that important? And it gets you to dig deep. It gets you to dig deep to really focus on why you're doing what you're doing, not on a surface level, but on a soul level. And I always recommend, don't go any further here, but when you're by yourself, when you're in a quiet room or out in nature, take your journal and finish all the way to number 10. Because if you're like me, the tears will be flowing, because it is a beautiful experience. And I can almost tell you where you'll be on that number 10. And that is, and I don't think I'm giving anything away, but it's that you are here for the expansion of your soul, for your spirit. And again, the unseen. So hopefully, if you're listening, you understand that you're more than this physical body. You have, some people call it your soul, your inner being, source energy, God, spirit, universe. There's a higher being, and you are part of that. There's more to you than your physical body. So I believe that by the time you get to number 10, it is all about the expansion of your soul. But you need to see what that process is from your why in number 1 to number 10. It's that sequence. It's how it affects, and every person's journey is going to be unique. But when you understand why you're doing what you're doing on a daily basis from your soul level, it will mean so much more. And it will allow you a time to be able to be connected to that source energy. So if anyone has any comments or wants to share, maybe they've done that experience, that would be great to hear as well. Because I know people do talk about going deep with their why, and I would love to know if anyone has ever done that before.
So first off, Kevin says that he absolutely appreciates the exercise we're going through, Beth. So thank you for that. And Deborah shared Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. But we have what we sorry, we have what we dwell upon and live what we speak and believe in our hearts. Spot on.
Yes, absolutely. And if you haven't read the book As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, I highly recommend it. It's a tiny book. It takes a couple hours to read. And again, it points to that. Our words and our thoughts are so important. Great. Awesome. And then our second activity, is there anything else or any other comments? Because I know, Charlie, you and the team did this exercise as well.
Yeah. Well, I've done it twice. Once with you and then once since then. And it is, it took me a long time. It took quiet space. It took I don't know, 30 minutes of just get rid of distractions so you can focus on what you're trying to do. And you're right. You get so granular in your thoughts when you go through this in 10 steps. I mean, you could go to 12, but I don't know how much more granular you get. Mary Beth says, and I'm going through a journey like this too, Mary Beth, but seeking, kind of true self, right? Beth, this has been going on for a while, but we live in a construct, right? We drive a car because that's what we do. It used to be a horse because that's what we did. We go to whatever your convenient or your grocery store is. I mean, we live in this social construct, but that's not us. That's just our environment. We go to a job every day. Mine happens to be on the other wall of my bedroom, but we go to a job, we go to work every day. We raise our families. They go to these schools and this is just a world that's been created for us, but it's not us. And that's maybe it's because I hit 50 recently. But anyway, these are the things that I'm questioning in life too, right? Is like, well, what makes up me? I just kind of fit into these places that I'm supposed to be or whatever. And I love what I do. I love the people I work with. That's not taking nothing away from that, but certainly, as Mary Beth says, seeking true self.
Yes. And it needs to be meaningful and not just doing the day to day. And for me, my journey was when I quit teaching of 20 years and I was working from my beautiful home at the beach, being a financial advisor, having a successful business. But I was hard on myself. I was living that grind. I could write goals all day long. I used to teach goal setting workshops, right? Yeah. And teach business planning workshops. And I was successful. I was doing it, but like you mentioned, there comes a time when you say, there's got to be more.
Yeah.
There's got to be more. And for me, I'm a good student, right? So I was doing everything in financial services that people told me to do. Yep. I was. And finally, I said, I'm going to do the opposite of what everybody else is telling me to do because I am successful and I'm happy, but I knew there was something more. I knew that there was this thing called joy that was eluding me and I wanted it. And I knew that it was more than being successful in business. So one day I took my phone. I was following my intuition. I took my phone and I have some steps that go from my bedroom down to my bathroom. And I sat on the step and I set my timer for 5 minutes. And I just sat there and I said, God, who am I? Because I had a feeling like, okay, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a financial advisor, I'm a friend, but I'm more than that. And I wanted to know what that was. And so that was the beginning of my spiritual journey. That was the beginning of what did it for me and brought me to this place where I am in joy. I am living this faith-based mindset of ease and peace and flow. And I know that it can be developed and I know that it can be achieved. And so that's what I do. Yep. So just wanted to share that story. So now alignment with your ideal client. Again, I wanted to bring this up because we live in a vibrational universe. So just think for a minute, what are the characteristics of your ideal client? What are they? I know I put a little list up for myself because I wanted to go through this exercise as well. And for me, I love having clients that are easy to communicate with. Like I can call them, I can email them, and they're responsive, right? That makes life so much easier. I also like clients that are fun. They're adventurous. They like to go travel. I like to go travel, and we can share those experiences. I like to work with clients that have a strong sense of family. I do. And I like to work with clients that are trustworthy. I know they're not going to talk behind my back. And I know that we have a feeling of mutual trust. I like to work with clients that are interesting and have interesting hobbies. I like to learn about their hobbies. So those are some things that I would have on my list for my ideal client. Now, they're not the typical things that some advisors might put down, or some people might put down if you're in a different line of work. You know, some people might say, oh, well, I work with clients and I want to work with clients that have over $1 million. Okay. So think about who are those people that you would like to work with. And then on the other end, we need to know who we don't want to work with, right? So again, I made a list. And if you have any to add, Charlie, you need to add them in. I don't want to work with people that are opinionated. You know, they always have to be right.
Yeah.
Or they're grouchy. They're always in a bad mood. Or they're pessimistic. Like everything's always going wrong. They're negative. These are kind of redundant, but these are the people I really don't want to work with, or they're negative, right? Because they're on that fear-based mindset and they're always worried about money. And they're always talking about other people, conditions, situations. It's always somebody else's fault, never their own. So those are the people I don't want to work with. So create a list of your ideal clients, the people you don't want to work with, the people you do want to work with. And then ask yourself, okay, who do I want to work with and why? And the truth is, when you're a vibrational match to that client, you don't need to worry about it. They will find you, because this is a world of a universe of attraction, right?
Yep.
So what vibrational vibes am I putting out? Who is that client that we're going to attract? So again, if we understand that we create our reality, and this is just about being truthful, because if I'm attracting clients that are grouchy and negative and pessimistic, I need to look at me. Mm-hmm. And I need to think, okay, what is my energetic frequency that I'm putting out there? Because it's a little screwy. What do I need to do? How can I raise my vibration? Like Einstein said, do I need to go take that hour-long walk on the beach? Yes. Do I need to meditate? Yes. Do I need to journal? Yes. All of that and more, so that I am fully aware of my vibrational alignment.
Now, for a young advisor, Beth, right, who's, God, they need to hit production numbers. And, you know, I think that you may have some listeners today. I don't know everybody in the crowd that say, you know, but I'm 29. I got a quota to hit in order to retain my job at XYZ firm. And so I'm taking money when it's available. Here's what I would say. There may be a stage in your career, because you got a very practical need for it, right? That you're working with a client that you don't necessarily want to work with, because you got to get your business to the next jump. Got it. Spend time with the clients you really like, because in a very physical way, I mean, a lot of what we're talking about is metaphysical, right? But in a very physical way, the people you're spending time with are the people you're going to meet going forward, right? So be very conscious of who you're spending your time with, because you're right, as your book is immature, and certainly you got to hit some marks and, you know, production marks. Okay, so maybe we're sacrificing a little bit in the beginning, but it doesn't have to be that way long term. Right. So make the right moves to be able to align yourself with the people that you want to work with, so that 5 years after that point in your business, you are completely set up with a book of business that you love talking to and interacting with every single day.
Right. So you're talking about having that awareness, right?
Yep.
having that awareness of what's important to you. And then and what you said, first of all, is someone that has a job at X, Y, and Z, I would challenge that person to, again, we have a choice. We have a choice not only of our thoughts and our feelings, but we have a choice in everything that we do in our life. So whether we accept a job here or we accept a job there, that's our choice. So again, I would say for every choice that you have to make, get into alignment and feel what is right for you, which goes back to your why.
Yeah, love it.
So any comments about getting into vibrational alignment with your ideal client so that you can attract them? Because the law of attraction is working. It's working, and you don't need to know how it's working. You just need to raise your own vibration. So instead of working, I don't know, 16 hours a day, you could work 8 hours a day in a higher vibration and be as effective, if that makes sense.
And who's the quote? Whether you think you can or can't, you're right.
I think it's Henry Ford.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So when you're focused on what you want, so yes, you might have a grouchy client, that you have to talk with, but I'm talking about what's your focus, what's your intention? Are you focused on the clients that you want? Are you focused on your ideal clients? Because when you think more about those clients than the other, then that's when you'll start attracting them. And you don't need to know the how. And that's what most of us get on our own way about, is how something's going to get done. You do not need to know how. You simply need to know you need to be crystal clear on that ideal client that you want, and the law of attraction will get to work. And when you understand that, life becomes magical. I say that I live a life of magic and miracles every day, because when you understand that this is a vibrational universe, then the law of attraction works for you. And when you're in that place of a faith-based mindset, it happens more and more and more. And yes, you do have to take some action. Some of you might be saying, why the law of attraction is just going to do it. Well, no, you're open, right? You're looking for opportunities. You're available to seeing that client. You're available to picking up the phone call. You're not just taking action to take action, but from a place of faith and knowing, you're taking inspired action. And that's the difference. When you have that inspiration, listen to your intuition, listen to your gut, listen to those things that are unseen. Just challenge yourself, just try it. You don't have to take my word for it. Try it. I know it works. Follow your intuition. Talk to this person. Pick up the phone, and only when it's inspired. So if you have someone that you're supposed to call, you say you have a list of 5 things. I have 5 things on, and I have to do these things today. Ask yourself, which one would I like to do first? It's your life. Like, I think we're here for fun. So even though there's things that we have to do, ask yourself, because no one's looking over your shoulder probably saying, okay, which one are you going to do first? Right? Which one am I inspired to do first? Which one would I like to do first? And do it. And ask yourself, am I inspired to call this client right now? Listen to your intuition. If it's no, don't call them. Give yourself 5 minutes or give yourself an hour, right? But put yourself first.
I love that. Sarah asks, what do we do with the list of characteristics about that ideal client? I think I know the answer, but I'm going to let Beth handle it.
Focus. That's what you focus on. That's what your intention is on. And not just write out the list, but feel what it would be like to have that, to be speaking to that person, to have them in your office. What would it be like to be able to be on the phone with them? Imagine the fun conversations that you would have with them. Think about the topics. Think about what hobbies they have. Think about what things you have in common. Think about the things they're going to teach you. Think about the things that you're going to teach them. Think about the fun conversations. That's what you focus on. And Einstein also said, imagination is, I'm paraphrasing here, but Einstein said, imagination is so much more powerful than education. So use your imagination. What would it be like? And not think of it in the future, think of it in the now. What would it feel like now to have that client in my office or on the phone? So that's what we need to do with that list. And then that's raising your vibration, right? Yeah. Okay, great question. Any others?
Sarah, thanks you. Yeah, no,
Okay,
it's
great.
good. You said something, Beth. Listen to your intuition. If you don't want to call that client now, wait 5 minutes, wait 30 minutes, wait an hour. I think a lot of people who are stuck in this structured, no one's stuck, but a lot of people who find themselves in this structured environment that maybe they've been in for 10 or 15 years, and that's what's comfortable, have trouble with that.
It's a
Right?
fear-based mindset.
Yeah. Well, and I learned from a mentor of mine years ago, like, you've got to this is about you. It's not about everybody else. It's about you. And of course you serve your clients,
Right.
but if the time is not right for that, you have to give yourself permission to put that off. Now, you can't obviously upset the relationship with that, but don't feel guilty about waiting an hour to make that phone call if you're not up to making it right now. It's okay to give yourself permission to delay a little bit. Yeah.
Right. Take a few deep breaths. That's something we talked about. Take a few deep breaths before you get on a phone call. Check in with how you're feeling. If you need to go take a brisk walk around the block so you're getting your energy up a little bit, do it. And then go make the phone call. That phone call is going to be so much better when you're feeling better. If you're not feeling good, you don't want to call that person. We're just using that as an example. So it definitely starts with your vibration. Think about what frequency you're emitting into the universe as it applies to clients, people that you want to attract into your business. It could be clients. You can also use that for employees, right? Same thought process. So the law of attraction is going to bring to you what you're focused on. And that's something that sometimes is people need to get on board and realize and accept that we create our reality. And that's what when we understand the unseen, when we understand the laws of the universe and the law of attraction and quantum physics and how they play together. Once you have that, and it doesn't have to be like you have to be a college professor in those topics, but when you have enough understanding, it releases you to know, oh yeah, that's me. Like, yeah, I'm creating this. It really gives you freedom in a sense that, oh, I get it. I created that. I attracted that grouchy client. Well, now I'm powerful because I can do something about it. I can change my energy. So it's really powerful that we create our own reality. It's not an exception. It just is. So the third tip or point that I want to talk about, or about bringing you into alignment for success, is this whole aspect of prosperity. I've been reading this book. I have it here. I've read it so many times. It's like the perfect book to take when you're on an airplane. I absolutely love it. It's called You Too Can Be Prosperous, and it's by Robert A. Russell. And I think it's important because when I was fully bringing on new clients as a financial advisor, I understood abundance and money, but prosperity is different. It's so different than, making goals to make a certain amount of money, right? Which is what we normally do in business. But the whole aspect and idea of prosperity is different. So prosperity is nothing to do about money. So if I were to ask you, what does prosperity mean to you? What would you say? So for everyone on the call today, if I were to ask each one of you, what does prosperity mean to you? Each one of you would probably give me a different answer. And if someone wants to play, you can even go on and say what prosperity means to you.
Abundance.
Abundance. So yeah, we can get many different answers. For some, if I'm just walking down the street and I ask somebody what's prosperity, they might say, oh man, if I get a $5 raise at work, I'd be feeling prosperous. Somebody else, it might be, oh, well, if I get that client with $1 million, I'd be feeling prosperous. You know, it's not about the money. Prosperity is simply a state, right? It's a state of being. It's a state of well-being. What would I need to provide me with well-being? A sense of freedom, a sense of success. What does prosperity mean to me as a state of being?
Lots of responses.
Oh yeah,
Beth. Oh
yay.
yeah. Being successful in all that you attempt, living a full life, abundance in all aspects of life, finance, freedom, time. So lots of a lot of the same themes echoing. So
Okay.
yeah.
So yes, a state of well-being, give you free and easy access to all that you desire that's good and desirable, right? It's that freedom, a satisfying life. But what it looks like for each one of us is different. What is satisfying for me is not satisfying for somebody else. I think really big.
Here's a good one. Peace of mind, no more fear of uncertainty.
Yes, absolutely. So that is a definition of faith, right? Having that faith-based mindset. So you can see how it all intertwines. It's all of this idea of the unknown that I have complete power over. No one else is telling me, there's no one up here telling me what to think or telling me how to feel. It's 100%, sorry, I get excited. It's 100% up to me. What I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, what my day is like. And when he's talking about prosperity, he gives this really fun example. In chapter 4, he calls it the magic box. And he says, pretend, again, use your imagination. Pretend that you have this magic box in your house. And you can go over to this magic box and you can lift up the lid and you can have whatever it is that you want. And I liken that to having a magic lamp, right? Where you rub it and you get your wish. But the wishes are infinite. You can have whatever you want. So what that represents, the magic box represents a state of consciousness. What's your state of consciousness? What you're thinking and feeling. Again, that's up to you. But how much fun is it to think that I can have whatever I want? The truth is, when you understand that this is a vibrational universe, you can be, do, or have anything once you understand how powerful you are. But if you're not there yet, use your imagination and pretend that you have this magic box and elevate your state of consciousness to get closer to that faith-based mindset, to that knowing, to that peace and calm and knowing that everything's going to be okay. You don't need to worry. You don't need to stress. And so that is when you have that alignment with prosperity and you know that you can have anything that you want, then you can align yourself to success. So we haven't talked about what success is yet, specifically because it's defined by each individual. So when you know your why, when you know what you do and why you do it, and who you want to work with, and you understand what that prosperity means to you, and you align with it, then success is going to be yours because you are that vibrational match. Now, for me personally, success means being, I'm balanced between my mind. I provide time for my intellect and reading and my body and working out and being physical and exercising. And then my spirit taking time, right, to communicate with my soul and meditate and journal and all those things. So for me, it's having that balance. That's living a successful life, because I know the prosperity is there. I know I don't have to worry about any of that other stuff. And I've been able to manifest those things in my life. So I know it's available to anyone. And that's why I have written my book. And it's coming out soon. So I'm really excited about my book and course that will be following it up, because I love to be able to teach. You can't do everything in an hour, but I love to be able to share what I know and to help other people to understand really that all the power is within you. And not only the power, but every question you have, the answer resides in you.
That's the coolest.
Mhm.
Beth, one thing that I, excuse me, I got a hoarse voice today. One thing I learned in the reading I've been doing, and most of that is audiobooks, by the way, but, just in listening and podcasts, and you brought it up, though you didn't say this specifically. Thinking about what you want or where you want to be is one thing.
Mhm.
Using your imagination to feel that and have emotion around it is a whole different level of experience in attracting what you want. So I don't know if you got other commentary on, thinking about it's great. It's a great first step, but actually, pretend it's there. Pretend it's there so that you can actually emit those feelings of having what you're seeking.
Yeah, it's a very, well, it's a whole chapter in my book. So a couple of things that you can do. Well, one thing that's really fun to do is if you project yourself out 3 years from now, you have the clients you want, you have really manifested everything that you desire, right? You have it all. You're living the lifestyle, you're traveling, you're working or not working, whatever it is that you desire, it's all done. And really think about what that looks like 3 years from now and write it out. It can be on one page, it can be a paragraph, but write out what it is 3 years from now, that if you made it, like, it's awesome. You have everything you want, whether it's the house, the lifestyle, a relationship, the career, whatever it is, it's all done. It's all done. It's called a 3-year leap. So you do that. And then what I take people through a number of exercises. One, you can then, from the perspective of yourself, 3 years from now, answer some questions. What's your perspective? Like, what makes you tick? What brings you joy? So think about the characteristics, what that person 3 years from now is thinking and feeling, how much joy they're in. So that's really fun. And then another activity is to sketch out what you look like 3 years from now when you've achieved everything that you desire. And what that does is it's using your imagination, it brings it to the now, right?
Cool.
Yeah, so those are a couple of things you can do. Just do a 3-year leap, write out exactly how you're living, who you're with, what you're doing when everything that you desire is done. And then have a talk with yourself, that person that has manifested everything that you desire. Have a conversation with them.
It's awesome. It's awesome, Beth. There's no more questions, but I'll tell you what, I don't know that we've done a webinar before that got 34 interactions.
Yay.
And genuine questions and reactions to the, how you're feeling now and the list. And so no doubt, Beth, you got people on this, on this webinar that want to know more about you and, how you would work with somebody to help, bring balance and help to create this vibrational frequency for the things that they want. And Sarah asked how we get a day of today's recording. Sarah, you noticed that I didn't hit the record button right away, so we missed about the first 7 or 8 minutes. But everybody who registered will get the recording, so that'll probably come tomorrow. But we'll get an email out to you with a link to the recording. And then Beth, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
My company is Thrive, Flourish, Grow. Thrive, flourish, and grow. Those are all words for expansion. So that's just a little reminder. Remember, I said I believe that we're here for the expansion of our soul. So my website is simply thriveflourishgrow.com. My email is thriveflourishgrow@gmail.com. My LinkedIn page is Thrive, Flourish, Grow, and my Facebook page is Thrive, Flourish, Grow. So pretty easy to find me there. I do have a Facebook group called High Energy Manifester, and you can go to highenergymanifester.group and it will take you there. And the reason why I mentioned that, Charlie, is tonight I am making the big announcement, and I announce everything there first, for my course. I'm announcing the name. I'm announcing how many weeks it's going to be, all of those details, because that is how I work with people. I am a teacher. I'm not a coach. So I love doing workshops and leading groups and organizations in teaching and workshops and leading those. I also love taking individuals through hybrid courses, and that's what I'm announcing tonight. And then I also provide one-on-one energy sessions as well. So
awesome. And you're getting a lot of love in the Q&A area. So yeah, April and Gabby, and lots of love coming in for you, Beth. So I think it's people you probably worked with in the past that are like,
awesome.
do this. Yeah. Alejandra, thank you for being here. And Gabby endorses your courses. So I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but yep. Yeah. So listen, this is awesome. And I can speak, from a very personal perspective too. We haven't done a ton of work together, right? You've met with our team a few times. You and I have worked individually a couple of times. It is really, it's inspiring. You are, if someone isn't feeling great one day at work, we say, oh, you got to Beth McGill this thing. You are a verb at Social Advisors. I don't know if you're aware of that before right now. But it's just, you got to put a definition around something. Maybe Beth, it's become your name. So
that's so cool.
But I can speak very personally on the experience I have with you, and even in a group setting, what we have with you. Like, honestly, the sessions, we all walk out of there lighter and feeling good. And, things, listen, something bad will happen, or not bad. Bad's the wrong word for it, but you're going to be impacted with something negatively.
Happens, yeah.
But if you keep the right mindset and keep focusing on trying to be better, if you're going to fail, right? It's tough to be really in it all the time, but as long as you're aware of it and can come back to it as quickly as possible, the more you practice, the easier it gets. And I'm on that journey right now, Beth, in large part, thanks to you.
I am so glad you're on that journey. And I'm so glad that I was able to be honest with you from the very beginning. And just say, Charlie, can I be honest with you?
Yes, I am glad you were too. And I think that's 9 months, a year ago, maybe now, Beth. Sarah wants to know, remind everybody again what the name of the Facebook group is. High
Energy Manifester. And you can go to highenergymanifester.group and it will take you there.
Awesome. Everybody who took some time out of your day to join us, I'm very grateful for that. Thank you. And Beth McGill, I appreciate our relationship. Thank you for everything that you do for me personally, for our team at Social Advisors, and the value you add to the network that we're growing around our brand and your brand and everybody else.
Yeah, thank you for all the work that you do too. Thank you. I'm having so much fun, and I just popped on the chat so I could see on my end. So awesome. So glad. I love being able to inspire people, and that's what I'm here to do. So thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. And so it's so awesome. Yeah. And so many great comments continue to come in. So thank you everybody for the interaction and for taking time out. So this is awesome. And I'll get you all the recording. And when that email goes out, you'll have Beth's contact info, my contact info. So Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks, Beth. Have a great rest of your day. And we're easy people to find. I'm both very active on LinkedIn. So yeah, if you got any questions, you know how to get us.